If you're wondering if it's worth the time and effort to create video, then this interview is for you. I want to introduce you to Misty Leinberger. She's a CPA, a business owner, and a student in my Master Video Today program. Misty is everywhere online these days. She creates weekly videos, she shares them on social media, she shares them through email, and clients are reaching out to her because of her videos. And she had never created video before this year. All of this takes time, as you'll hear. But because Misty is seeing results from those efforts, she's doubling down on using video to create educational content for small business owners. If you'd like to learn more about the Master Video Today program, I'll put information about it in the description below. In the meantime, here's my conversation with Misty Leinberger. I just want to start by asking you how you got started using video and how it's helped you grow your client base over the last few months.
Okay. Well, let's start off with COVID-19 is ultimately why I started using the video. It wasn't for marketing. It wasn't for anything else. I just knew that my clients and other people were not going to read all of the fine print on all of the small business relief options out there. And it was just like a Wild West free for all for money. So I just felt that if I could punch out some videos that people might be willing to listen to, even if they're not reading the information, they would absorb something. So ultimately, that's why I started to do video. I didn't realize it would become something that would ultimately establish me as an expert in my field. And I have started getting phone calls from clear across the United States from people who want me to help them.
I am not surprised. I'm absolutely not surprised at all. I remember we've known each other for years, but I remember just in the very beginning, and we were all stuck in our home and we were wondering as small business owners what regulations meant, what new things coming down from Washington, D.C. meant. And then you would come in on your videos and just start explaining things so clearly. So I'm not surprised that people outside of our area saw that and came to you as a resource. What was that like in the very beginning? Because from our conversations before, I know you hadn't done video before then. You just sort of knew you had to get started. So what was that process like for you?
It was literally just setting up my computer and hitting record after I had collected all of the information. I just had a bunch of bullet points. I hit record and I just started talking. It wasn't scary. It wasn't nerve-wracking. The only thing that was scary to me is maybe people weren't going to be getting the information. So that's pretty much what it was. It was a split-second decision. I just did it.
I love because you can tell when you're watching your videos, which of course you can just going to your Facebook page, your Pixel Financial Group Facebook page, but you're just educating. You're talking to the audience as if it was a client, just someone, as if this person was live in front of you in your office, and that's not possible right now in many cases. So you're just giving the same experience to someone in front of you virtually.
Correct. And that was actually kind of the point. It was, listen, this is how I talk to my clients. This is how I educate my clients. So right now, I'm just going to treat everybody like my client and just try to fight some of the bad information that is out there to the best of my ability, as well as just keep people as informed as possible.
What have you learned about yourself through this whole process?
Gosh, it's amazing how I can find time when I have to in order to do the things that I never thought I had time to do before, like produce a video. So in terms of what I've learned about myself, I just don't, that's a tough question. I don't know the answer to that one. But definitely just trying to make sure to find that time. I'm always willing to go the extra mile. And so I find myself doing that more and more lately just to make sure I can get this stuff done each week.
Oh, I love it. I mean, you're a video creator now, like for sure. Now, I reached out to you after one of your earlier videos, I think,
The
right?
very first one. Yeah.
Oh, was it? Was that the first one that I saw? Okay, the one that you
Yeah.
put out there. Well, I saw it, and I was doing a lot of Zoom teachings as well, because when we went on lockdown, couldn't go anywhere. And the people that I knew in my circles, they wanted to learn how to do Zoom and how to use Zoom to create relationships with clients. And so I think I just on Facebook somewhere, I don't even think we were like quote friends on Facebook. Not that we weren't friends, but we just weren't friends on Facebook. But I think someone in one of our networks shared your video or liked it, and I saw it and I was like,
she's doing such a great job. But there were some things I could see you could do better.
Right.
And so I reached out to you. I hope kindly. Was it kindly?
Of course it was.
Because I looked at it and I was like, okay, there are just some things, very simple things that you can do. It all was related to raising your camera and putting a little more light on you and decluttering a background or just changing the background a little to put the focus more on you. And you did it all. And so I wanted just to talk about some of the things that have helped you to level up your videos, because anyone who's seen the videos from the early days and seeing it now, they can see a difference, right?
Yep. Yes, just a little bit. Well, first of all, Cheryl, you. If it wasn't for you, I mean, first of all, I went into this not knowing what I was doing and knowing that I didn't know what I was doing and having no idea how to make it better or even that I needed to. So the fact that you reached out and said, hey, this is just make these little changes, that helped immensely, absolutely immensely. So you are definitely one of my favorite tools to use in all of this. Just also the fact that I just didn't know what I was doing and I was willing to absorb all of that information. But since then, clearly we've done all kinds of different things. Like, when I was working out of my home, there was only so much I could do. But since then I've, built a studio in my office. You can see my background. I have lighting, I have cameras. We're working on a microphone still, because you can hear there's still a little bit of an echo in here. I've got soundproofing foam on the walls of my studio. So I'm really trying to take everything that you are teaching me and putting it together, trying to make these as enjoyable for people as possible. Because when I look at that very first video I did, I was absolutely floored anybody paid attention to it at all. So
I'm so glad you put it out there, even though that part might have been a bit of a hesitation. Like, I'm so glad, because so many people got some information they needed from that first video.
I hope so.
Yes, definitely. Okay, so I want to hear more about what you've put in place. Like, what was it that in your head? And so, I work with a lot of video creators, and they all treat this in a different way. Some of them see this as the thing, and they're going to create the studio, and that's completely fine. For you, what was it that made you say, hang on, this is more than just a normal marketing channel, or this is more than something that I do for the pandemic. It's something that can be sustainable.
Oh, that's simple. It was sometime not long after that first video, I received people reaching out to me from Washington State, California, Texas, Illinois, gosh, from other countries even, because they had businesses, they're expatriates or they were out of the country for whatever reason. They had businesses here. So, I mean, that was the moment where I was like, okay, wait a second. This has a much broader message than I had originally intended it for. So all I could think is, wow, just think of all these people I can help.
Oh, that's amazing. And so you're thinking this is a business decision. It's another stream of income. It's a moneymaker. This is an investment that in the future will make you money.
Absolutely. But that was just the byproduct. So, we've always been a big believer, at least I've always been a big believer, that as long as I'm doing things for the right reasons, the rest follows. And again, in my opinion, I went into this with the right reason and the rest is following. It has boosted business for me. There are times where I feel a little bit guilty about that, but at the same time, if it wasn't for those videos, I'm not sure I would have established myself as an expert the way that I have. Now, I was doing that locally, certainly through networking and various marketing efforts, but this hands down has been the most powerful tool in accomplishing that goal.
Ooh, that's really that's really a testimony to the videos that you created and the work that you put in. And these were just on Facebook, or were they on LinkedIn? Were they on Instagram? Like, which videos would you say were the ones that reached the people from all around the country?
Hands down, the most, it would be Facebook.
Okay.
Facebook was the one. People were sharing my stuff in ways that I'd never seen before. So yeah, Facebook, it spread like a wildfire.
So what would you say to people who are, maybe they were where you were 6 months ago, and they have that passion to help their clients. They have an expertise like you do, and it could be in whatever industry that they're in, but they're not sure how to use video, like how to even get started or how to even make this work for them?
I would say maybe not think so hard about it. It's not that I had ever not considered doing video before. I had, but it was a time issue for me. I wasn't sure about the equipment. What would I actually talk about? It never happened until I just stopped thinking about it and I just did it. And I didn't worry about the quality. I didn't worry. I was more worried about the quality of the information I was giving than I was worried about how do I look? What's the lighting like? So I think that's my biggest thing is maybe just don't overthink it. Just jump in, do one. It'll get better from there, but you've got to start somewhere.
Love it. I love it. And 100%. So I would love to hear your process. You're a busy business owner. You have children, you have a family, you have things happening. How do you squeeze this in? And if you're like me, are you always thinking about content? Like every day, I'm always thinking, this would make a great video or this would make a great blog post. So how do you handle this when 6 months ago, you weren't a content creator in this way, right? So
Well, first of all, OneNote is an amazing thing because it's right there and I can access it from every device I have. And every time something pops up, and it's not always me thinking, gosh, what do I do next? Sometimes it's an interaction with a client that something happens that, all right, I need to do a video on that because I've seen this happen way too many times. And it's just, so I've been writing a list, of all of the videos that I need to be doing. And I actually have spent a week getting up early every day and coming to work by 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning to at least produce around 5 banked videos that I have in my library. And now I can get up only early once a week. I get up early all the time, but only once a week do I have to come into the office super early to record another video because I've got the banked videos. And now if I can just keep up the once a week thing, I'll never run out of videos. So that's kind of been my process to get me going.
do you ever think that this would be you though? Because as you're doing your thing, you're working with clients, you're working with their money, you're helping them be, better stewards of their money in their businesses, that you're also thinking, okay, well, how this interaction will help me create content to help more people. Like, did you ever think that that would be you?
I did because I used to write blogs. So, I would say, oh, look, there's another issue. I have to write this blog, but now I'm just taking the blog and I'm putting it on a video. And then sometimes I do a blog as well. So
well, I can't even thank you enough for being a part of the Video Boot Camp. For anyone listening or watching, what would you say about having this experience of having people they're all in different stages of video creation. Some of them have created a lot of videos. Some of them are just at that point where they're going to, and in between. What has that experience been like for you to be part of this community?
Well, first of all, it's been excellent because first of all, nobody holds back. If they think that something needs to be improved with your videos, they have no problem telling me, which I need that. I don't want it's great to hear the compliments. Oh, your video is so great. But what I really want to know is how do I improve it? You're very good about that. The community is really great about that while also being totally supportive at the same time. So it's a nice balance of everything.